Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gillis the Kid, and this time I'm going to be talking about the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. This device was released on May 30th of 2025. We're going to be talking a little bit about it, so let's get into it. Now, the first thing you're going to notice about the S25 Edge is that it's super light and very thin. But before we take a look at it, let's look at this real quick. This is what the box looks like. You can see it says Galaxy S25 Edge. And in the box, they give you the standard USB C to C cable here. You also get the SIM pin tool in case if you want to use a SIM card. You don't really have to because it features like an eSIM. Okay, so this is the device. Now, in 2015, Samsung brought out the S6 and the S6 Edge, followed by the S7 and the S7 Edge. Those phones actually had like a Edge display, but this one doesn't. It's completely different. This is super light and very thin. And this comes in at 5.8 millimeters thin. It weighs 163 grams. It has a titanium frame. And it's protected by the Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 on the front. Okay, so it has a 6.7 inch dynamic OLED display. We're going to actually go into the settings here and change the resolution. So when you go down to display, you can see screen resolution here. Now by default, it's on that full HD plus. I'm going to change it to the quad HD plus. Okay, and you can see it's 3120 by 1440. We're going to apply that to get the best resolution. I always do that with every Samsung phone that I buy. Now it does have 120 Hertz adaptive refresh rate. All of the Samsung phones are super fast. On the inside, you have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite. That's an octa-core processor. And we're going to go back into the settings and look at the storage and the RAM. So when you go down to device care, you can see right here, this device has 12 gigs of RAM. And I bought the 512 gigabyte storage because I always want the most storage I can get. It starts at 256, or you can get 512. Most Samsung phones, when they come out, they have promos where you can get the 512 for the price of the 256. But if you get the 256, that's going to be $1,100. If you get the 512, that's $1,200. Now we're going to look at the camera here. So on the back, you have 2 lenses instead of 3. On the bottom, you have the 200 megapixel primary rear camera. And on the top, you have the 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. It does have autofocus and macro photography. You got your LED flash. On the front, you have another camera. That's a 12 megapixel front wide angle lens. On the bottom, you do have stereo speakers. This is where you charge it. That's your USB-C port. You got your microphone right next to it. That's your SIM card tray. And then right here is your stereo speaker. So you have one on the bottom and one on the top. Now, when you look into the camera, you can go to video. And then on the top, this is where you change the camera. So right now it's on full HD, 30 frames per second. You can shoot at 8K video. You can shoot at 8K at 30 frames per second, or you can shoot at 4K at 30 frames per second. So you can go into the camera and mess around with the settings if you want to. One of the things about this phone is it doesn't have a big battery. So it has a 3900 milliamp battery, and you know, compare it to the other 3 phones on the market. The S25 Plus has a 4900 milliamp battery, and the S25 Ultra has a 5000 milliamp battery. So 3900, it's not very big, especially for a phone that comes out in 2025, but you can game on this device. You can take pictures, watch movies, all that stuff. I don't think you're gonna have a problem. I used to do all of that on the S25, and I still had battery life to spare throughout the day. And then once again, if you want the 256 gig, that's gonna run you $1,100. You can get the 512 gigabyte storage option for $1,200. I'll drop all the links down into the description. You can definitely check it out. These phones come in 3 different colors. This is the jet black titanium. And then you have the icy blue titanium and the silver titanium. So, what do I think about the S25 Edge? I think it's a really good device. It's definitely something you should upgrade to if you have like a S22 or an S23. Samsung has promised all of the great AI features that's going to be coming to this phone. And you're going to have 7 years of software updates. So that's always really nice. I'm probably going to keep this phone for about 3 years before I even think about upgrading again. But we're going to take a look at some of the accessories here. So you can get the case. This is the Samsung S25 Edge silicone case. This is what the box looks like. Okay, and then we're just gonna put this on our phone. I always recommend getting a case and a screen protector. And even with the case on, it's really thin. Look at that. It's really nice. It goes right above where the camera is. You can get a camera screen protector too. I would highly recommend that. You got your little camera bumper here. It's a really nice case. And then one of the things you want to get would be the screen protector. So this is the go-to screen protector that I ordered. This is tempered glass. I would highly recommend this. And a lot of Samsung phones don't come with chargers anymore. So this is the 25 watt power adapter. This is what it looks like. It is Type-C. You can get these for $20. As you can see on the front, it says super fast charging. So you're definitely gonna need one of these. And if you really have problems with storage, I always recommend the Samsung SSD. This is a 2 terabyte SSD. This is also Type-C. If you're having problems with storage on your device, if you just want to put photos, videos, games, whatever the case, the Samsung SSD is really nice. This is the T7 Shield. This is the rugged version. You can probably get the T7. Well, you can get the T9 Shield. That just came out recently, but they all work really good when you need extra storage. Okay, so what do I think about the S25 Edge? I think it's definitely a phone you should upgrade to, especially if you have an S22 or an S23. Some people that I know have upgraded from the S10 series because, you know, you went from S10 to the S20. There was like no in between. But if you have an older Samsung phone, this is perfectly fine for you. I'm going to drop all of the links and the accessories down into the description. Let me know what you think about the new S25 Edge. I'm going to have some more videos coming up pretty soon. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.